Watching the Star Citizen live from earlier, and I'll put something out on YouTube a little bit later, talking about audio. Apparently, I wanted to wait till it was on the YouTube channel for Star Citizen's YouTube channel, so we can do a proper react. But with that being said, yeah, let's get into the Star Citizen live Q&A.
It sounds like paradiddle. Oh, you know about paradiddles, don't you?
I do. I play drums, so I try to.
You're a drummer.
Yeah.
But we're musicians on the front row.
Yeah.
Hey, hang on.
They're talking. Show them.
Sorry about. Are we on now?
Yeah, we were on.
Sorry, we're talking about music and drummers.
For some reason, you guys are talking. They're showing me.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, community. Very irresponsible of us.
We were just discussing the true nature of English accents here in the pre-show.
Which Jared did rather well.
Yeah, he's actually British.
I can only do the Monty Python ones. I can only do the Monty Python ones. You're showing us. Yeah. Look, Sherry, we had to get out of bed half an hour before we went to sleep and lick the road clean with our tongues. And when we got home, our fathers would slice us in two with a bread knife. You try to tell the young people of that today, they won't believe you.
That is not bad. That's pretty good.
Well done.
But it wasn't Yorkshire. I'm just going to point
it's
it
not
out.
bad for an American.
Yeah.
I think you're American.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to, what show is this? Star Citizen Live. What did we call it? Sounding things out. Oh, I love a good pun. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and if you haven't seen Star Citizen Live before, it's where we take roughly about an hour at the end of certain weeks. We invite some of our developers over, take them away from the very busy work that they'd rather be doing, and make them answer questions from you, the Star Citizen community. On the show this week, a team who's always been near and dear to my heart, but we don't get to have on as often because they like to hide in their sound dampen booths,
caves,
and do their work. Members of the CIG audio team. So let's go ahead and jump on in and meet some of the folks, because it's always somebody's first show. Phil, we're going to start with you just because you're elevated the highest in the field of vision right now.
The most important.
Tell everybody, well, I wasn't going to go that far. Tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
Well, my name's Phil Pearce-Smallwood, and I'm a senior audio manager for the audio team, supporting the whole audio department to deliver on both Star Citizen and Squadron 42, but more recently been working closely with Simon to deliver on Star Citizen.
So, manager role now, do you still get to do any design at all?
Yeah. So I kind of moved into that role to kind of, when we had a change of leadership a few years back, and I was trying to build up the team to make sure we could logistically deliver. But then as time's gone on, I've been more and more involved back with the creative development. So I'm doing some prototyping, some audio concepting and stuff like that, and generally helping lead the team with Simon.
Give me an example of the latest sound you've designed.
Ooh, what did I do? Well, jump points, when we did that a little while ago, I concepted all of that.
I mean, make the sound with your mouth.
Oh,
I just wanted to see if I could get you to do it.
yeah.
Graham, who are you and what do you do for Star Citizen?
Jared's a
I'm
Dodgers
Graham
fan.
Phillipson, and I'm the, what am I now?
Director of Audio Technology.
That's it, Director of Audio Technology, yeah. My head's fried today. But yeah, I
Today?
direct the audio technology, so I decide what we're developing and make all the sounds able to sound as good as they can.
And maybe audio. Okay. How far down the rabbit hole do I want to go here? Audio not cutting out in random places. It's probably not his domain. He's there to create the audio, not fix it if it fails. When applied in the game.
And when does Claudius come?
Got it.
Well, it's not called Claudius anymore, so it never comes out. No, Star Audio is out there in some forms, and it's going to gradually weave its tentacles through the rest of the code.
And joining us for the first time on
Hello.
any CIG programming whatsoever,
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell everybody who
I'm
you are and
the
what you do.
audio director of Star Citizen, and I'm here to just have a great time making fantastic sounds for Star Citizen, bringing it from now to the future. And work with a wonderful team and work with more people that are coming in and be in charge of them and just make things sound rather jolly.
Gotcha. We won't spend too much time on it, but the long-time viewers have had a chance to meet Phil and Graham before, so I want to take at least a couple minutes and get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
You're a relatively recent addition to the team. How long?
Very fresh. I came in April.
April.
So I've been here 4 months, and with a remit to make the game more cinematic and immersive. I've got a background in film, which we won't go into now, and I'm bringing that sensibility to the game, along with all of the design experience that we want to bring to the game, I'm here to listen to the community more, and I'm here to deliver a game that I would want to play, and more importantly, what I'd like to hear, and that's why I'm here.
In a procedural thing most people won't ever be aware of, we have this kind of long-standing internal rule that we never make anybody do a video in the first 6 months they work here. But you've really hit the, if I may say, you've hit the ground running since you started here and kind of accelerated. We were just, again, another behind-the-scenes thing. We were just in a presentation. I got to see you give to all the directors of the project just yesterday, you know, detailing the new roadmap to 1.0 and all the things you want to deliver and stuff. And it's been really exciting to see you come in and hit the ground running and take the reins of the team.
Please
I've
don't
got lots of
pivot
things
the
I
game
want
again.
to bring, which I would love to tell you. Not now. I've got a fantastic sack of goodies that I want to bring to the game. Sonic Gold, and you know, that's what I want to do for the game.
So with that in mind, we do as we are wont to do. We put up a thread up on Spectrum, which is our bespoke communication platform available on robertspaceindustriescom. We added that thing like maybe 8 years ago now, and I still shill for it. I can probably stop. Let's find out if I can stop shilling for it. Although the habit's so ingrained, I probably can't. We took your questions. We saw which ones you voted up more, and we have selected a cadre of them to address today. So we're just going to jump right into it. From Horan Van. What happened to the glorious flyby sounds from years ago? And should we expect the magnificent sound quality to ever come back to our ships? This was just a topic of conversation in director chats
Yesterday.
last week. Well, yeah,
I was just talking about it
amazing
yesterday.
timing on this.
That is bizarre. Okay, shall I start first?
Yeah.
Feel free.
They are there. They are going to come back, but they're going to come back with a little bit more enthusiasm in the future. I really want them to vibrate. I want you to feel them go overhead. I want you to, they are going to come back. Over to Graham on where they are now and where they will be in the future.
So there's been a period of transition, I guess, on some of the sounds that we've been working on, and things aren't exactly where we want them to be. We've seen the videos you're talking about. We know how good things were then, and we absolutely want to bring that back. We've had meetings about it just this morning and yesterday, and we're making it a priority to bring those
This is the first
back.
question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we were actually literally
Almost
talking about it. Yes, I was presenting yesterday.
This
one
isn't
of the
bizarre,
topics
though,
was,
Simon. This is just because we
Is this
listen
what
to the
happens on
community.
TV?
And does this also include of not being able to hear a gladius flying from 20 kilometers away? Just saying.
And we want to. Yeah.
Well, community, they are coming back, but slightly better than they are at the moment.
Because all the sounds are there in our Wise project. It's just there have been some back end changes.
I was going to say, what happened? Why did they disappear?
Well, sometimes the project's always evolving, so the kind of hooks that our audio systems rely on can change, and depending on how much resources we've got and time, sometimes we have to prioritize newer content or different things. But now we're building the team to be able to get back to all of that good stuff and make sure that we don't lose any part of the experience and just make it better.
Yeah, so we didn't intentionally take them out. It was
No, it was more
some other aspect of the game grew. A bug happened.
Yeah,
we haven't been able to
there's been a
address it.
gradual shrinking of how big the ship sounds are in order to make the game performant. But now we're reworking that so they can be performant and you can hear them a long way away as well.
Let's see. Next question. McSpaz. What is the state of the realistic audio mode? Oh, we've been talking about this thing forever.
That's it, Graham.
Yeah,
Come on,
so
man.
we demonstrated realistic audio mode some time ago. Yeah, I know. The problem we have is that the game is huge, and we have to treat every single sound in the game with realistic mode in order to be certain that we're giving you the experience we want you to experience. Plus, we also have, game development is difficult. Scheduling is probably the most difficult part of game development. So we're working on getting all that work into the schedule. It's not there right now. We have ships to deal with. We have ship flybys right now. Beyond that, we're going to be looking at moving all that stuff over to realistic mode, and it will be within your hands at some point. I don't want to start promising dates, though.
No promising. And the remit of what I want to bring to it as well. So I've got a whole sack of stuff that I want to bring to the game.
That's the second time you've mentioned your sack.
It's a big sack of Sonic delights. But it's going to come. I mean, sometimes things go missing. I mean, we're in dev. I mean, I don't know how many sounds I looked at. It says over 700,000 sounds in the game already, and we're going to be bringing more to them, and we're polishing it all the time.
All right, well, if you mention Stack one more time, I'm going to make you share
I
something
will do.
that's inside it. Master Ringer.
Let's not have fun. The last thing we want to do.
Specific
Fun detected. Nerf incoming.
type of fun.
Risky.
Just do it now.
Come on, Jared.
Open your sack for me. What
What do you want to know? What do I want to offer the game? Well, we're going to be immersive at some point, so we will be going much more immersive. So that means, what does that mean to the player? I know it's a very overused word. We're going cinematic because that's what, I was brought on to do. So we're going to be, every environment you're in, you're going to feel like you're in the environment. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty details about what systems we're developing with Star Audio or any other systems I would like to bring to the game. But fundamentally, I want this to sound as good as it can be. I don't want to make rash promises like the best game ever. Perhaps let's try and make it the second best, and then people will remember that, and then we can go to the first best a little bit later on down the line. But I mean, you're going to feel like you're actually in something. Now, one of the biggest experiences, am I ranting already?
No.
Everyone, we want to be in a spaceship, and when you're in a spaceship, you want to feel like you're in a spaceship. I want to make things rock and vibrate, and I want you to feel moved. So that's...
Atmos?
Atmos, and a little bit more than Atmos.
A little bit more than
Yeah,
Atmos.
Atmos Plus. Don't ask me
We're
what
not
that is just
modifying
now.
other people's trademarks here.
No. I'm not changing Dolby, but I'm just going to be giving... Don't worry about that, Dolby, if you're listening.
The views and opinions of
But
Simon
no.
Network.
Yes. Allegedly.
Can we have a more realistic professional distress call from pilots being attacked by pirates? The current voice line, help, help, I'm being attacked. More professional line would be, mayday, mayday, mayday. And they just go on with a bunch of exampps. Basically, distress
Or not
calls.
be as loud.
Can we make them more
and obnoxious.
engaging, more immersive, more creatively fulfilling?
Yes, whose question? This is a great question.
Master Ringer 117.
I don't want to hog all the answers, but Phil, we've talked about this. So
Yeah.
Phil, yeah.
So obnoxious.
Okay. But we've basically been given a high-level mandate to get more dialogue into the game. Make it more of a dialogue experience when you're doing missions, talking to ATCs, NPCs, all that kind of stuff. So we're working with the whole narrative department to get more dialogue content recorded on our wonderful PCAP stage, which is next door, and getting more of that stuff into the game to really flesh that stuff out.
Cool. I'm going to pull a question from chat here. Nostalgic Ham
These names are great.
says ship horns. Ship horns, please, for the love of God, I'll do anything.
STV and PTV have horns.
Yes.
Anything.
Anything.
That's what Nostalgic Ham said. They're just offering themselves up. Ship horns?
Cool.
Yeah. Well, like a mini or something
No,
a bit
you
more
honk the horn and
substantial.
it plays the cucaracha.
Like, get out of my way. Oh gosh. Well, yes, this is something that's entirely possible. Them making some kind of scary noise obviously would be terrific with weight and gravity. So yes, I haven't kind of considered exactly what, but that is a good question.
Yeah, I think I saw it as like war horns. And
I'm
stuff.
thinking now.
So big capital ship.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
QT's out. And
I want people to know I'm arriving.
Full seat, like a barge horn.
Something like that.
That'd be epic. Kind of like the Reapers from Mass Effect, or like the War of the World stuff with Tom Cruise.
Somebody just mentioned, I was literally just thinking about it. ACK 625 says the War of the World's tripod horns. That crazy noise.
Yeah.
They make. Dot Hecate says, will we ever have radio stations we can tune into instead of just in-game background music? Maybe instead of just in-game background. Our in-game background
as
music.
well as, surely.
I'll put our in-game background music against any game's in-game background music. But question is, radio.
Sony Santa Monica has entered the chat. God of War and God of War Ragnarok have some of the best game audio composition in the last decade. Anyways.
Stations?
I was talking about this yesterday
You were.
It's true, he was.
This is bizarre as well. Yes, I would love to have radio stations in, and that's what I'd like to do. Maybe radio stations which are exclusive to certain planets, and when you fly away from the planet, you don't receive that transmission. Maybe
Perfect.
when you fly to a colony somewhere, you get a slightly different style of
So like radio stations from like the Fallout game days. Beautiful.
radio station. I mean, all manner of things: radio, music,
Yeah.
narrative, adverts, shipping forecasts, how much rocks cost,
Yeah, I was there. A couple.
number stations.
Yeah, I feel like it was maybe
Number stations.
maybe 2 or 3 months ago. There was a backer who basically invented like an hour-long string of what a Star Citizen radio station would be like. They used AI
With trucker music.
Yeah, it was trucker music and everything. And yeah, I don't want to turn this into a conversation about AI because I despise AI with the fiery passion of 10,000 suns, but it was rather compelling to listen to for a while and stuff, and so it's going to be an interesting challenge finding resources and figuring out how to implement that and stuff. But there's no secret. We've talked about it for years. It's something
Yeah,
we want.
I think it'd be
it's something
brilliant.
Chris wants.
Yeah.
Like that. So finding a way to make that happen will be an interesting.
No, I mean, I talked about this yesterday. So yes, that is something. I've forgotten who asked this question, but that is something definitely I'm considering.
Yes, 10,000 AI generated suns Event Horizon. Absolutely.
to be correct.
Salty Mike asks, oh, never mind, we'll just skip this. Vixor asks, will we see more audio for ships in their damage state,
Shots
such as
fired.
alarms blaring, especially on larger multi-cruise ships?
Yes, we will. We're going to elevate all of the sounds in the ships, particularly on the console UI and things like that. You will
Wow.
absolutely get that kind of stuff. Basically, I'm going to be elevating the experience in all vehicles and ships. They're going to have much more personality and much more presence.
And one thing we want to bring as well with Star Audio is that we make it much easier for the sounds on the ship to be aware of what's happening to the ship itself. So something like damage to the ship's power systems would cause things like light sounds to dip a little bit and ambiances maybe to drop and things like this. And you would feel the impact no matter where you are on the ship.
Yeah, I think historically, a lot of the damage state stuff was tied to like VFX and kind of binary things that are being triggered. We'd really want to kind of properly flesh out the damage states for ships, so you'd be able to hear things not working quite as well as you want.
I want to add on to this. They
things
mentioned
in
alarms
space.
blaring and stuff, but Tannoy, the ability. This is all about when things go wrong. Having that ability for the pilot or the captain to hit a button and then speak so that it radiates through the entire ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have like,
Gotta have it.
as it stands, the VoIP system is creaking a little bit under the pressure of how heavily we've pushed the player count on our servers.
Sure.
So we need to do some rework there. But I think this
VoIP
goes
cap
back
is
to
50,
the
by the way.
Shiphorn's question as well, because we've talked in the past about being able to make announcements outside of the ship. So you could approach some other players on a planet's surface and you could just switch on the mic and just let them know that they're in some trouble or whatever,
open the pod bay door,
yeah,
please, Graham.
yeah, you do all that kind of thing. And this is all built into the design of VoIP, but yeah, we need some back-end work too.
Well, that's
But
why.
also, we're going. I mean, we will be introducing an element of vibration to the ship. So, yeah, I mean, whenever there's damage, you will feel it as well as hear it, as well as an audible signal or an alarm system. So, there will be all sensors aware.
Well, the reason I skipped the question is because I wanted this one first. It's like to hit you with this one next. Salty Mike's question: what are you doing, if anything, to improve VoIP? It's
There it is.
Super inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I just alluded to, we have back-end issues there. They are on the
And that's big. I'm not going to say it's been the biggest debate ever, but that's one of the debates that you have in a space game. How do I hear anything outside of the pressurized, atmospheric-filled cockpit of a single-seater? But I feel like that applies to any other ship in the game, right? Like, sure, you have a ship like a Constellation, whether, one of the Constellations, or Starlancer, or Polaris, Idris, like a multi-crew based ship that has an actual physical interior that you walk around in. How do you hear anything outside of that ship? It is space. Every time I say space, I always want to follow up with the final frontier. Anyways, don't come at me, DMCA. But just further from that, And then, but to further that point, it's, you know, you have to balance something. Like, they want the game to be immersive, yes. So in a sense, you shouldn't hear anything in space ever, right? That being said, it's also a video game. You have to have the further aspect of an immersion specific to the context of a video game. I get it. Anyways,
List to be looked at. Who's there? They are on the list.
It's super inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as I just alluded to, we have back-end issues there. They are on the list to be looked at. I don't know when they're going to be scheduled in, but this is all work for our team over in Turbulent in Canada to look at, because the VoIP back-end was designed in a time when we had 50-player server caps.
right.
And now we have, 500-player server caps.
650. But
so
good talk.
You
that
didn't build
system,
it to scale.
yeah, that system hasn't grown. I didn't build it at all, so yeah.
So what does that what does that fix, that evolution path, kind of look like? Because VoIP is one of those. You know, once upon a time, it was a signature Star Citizen thing,
Yeah.
and it, you know, that along with VoIP, face over IP. But it is kind of falling into this realm of the opposite of feature creep, the backlog of fixes and stuff like this. I'm not going to ask you to go through the entire chain of fixes necessary, but at a top level, what needs to happen?
So what needs to happen is a rework of the back end so that it can handle these hugely elevated player counts. We also want to be able to communicate cross-shard, so it basically needs to become completely independent of servers and shards, and it needs to be running in its own back end entirely, so that anyone can communicate with anyone. That is all work that I'm not going to be part of and not familiar with, so it's very much kind of, as I say, our team in Canada. But once they've done that, then the hookup on the game side is not much different to how it is now. So as you know, when it works, you're able to communicate with each other, but it is inconsistent, and it's inconsistent because of this back end issue.
Sounds like this guy I used to go to high school with. They had a girlfriend in Canada. I've got a team in Canada there. But yeah, no, it was struggling before the advent of server meshing, and then
Yes,
when
yes,
server meshing
absolutely.
came out, it was just, it's not quite the bullet in the head of Old Yeller, but it's
not
really
helping.
made it.
Yeah.
It's really exasperated the issue. So we're going to have Benoit's due to come back on in a couple weeks and do a big update to that show we did in February, where we just talk about all the technical features and whatever, and we'll have an update on the work for VoIP and FoIP there.
Yeah.
Will we?
Can't tell you when it's going to be. I don't remember.
I like Benoit, though.
St. Paulus. Are there plans to add variety to the rain sound effects? Roof sound, no surface, etc. Or maybe there are some engine limitations currently?
Yes. So this is a classic us thing. So we scoped the rain initially for Stormageddon to support that event.
Stormbreaker.
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 Stormageddon. And then the way that we looked to implement it, it actually unintentionally scaled across the entire verse. Now, a rain system is huge. You need to make sure you've got all the different types of rain. You've got all the different types of surfaces, material types, material construction. Like a metal barrel will sound very different to a metal canopy versus it being inside of a car.
So circling back to Simon here, I believe that's his name. Simon here, and where he came from, coming from film and, I don't know if he said film and TV, but coming from film, tells me he is, and being an audio person, tells me he is somewhat familiar with Foley work.
So yeah, it's considered our rain system like version 0.5.
Yeah,
and
it's
we will
hugely
continue to work on it.
It's really complicated. I mean, precipitation on all, like you're saying, on surface. We've got so many surfaces to consider, and also the speed of the rain, which angle it's going at, how intense it is, and what it hits, and how it hits stuff. And sometimes rain can sound like white noise, and it's really a challenge trying to make precipitation sound good, and that's what we want to do. It's got to hit different surfaces. It's not as easy as you would think, and it gets in the way of things sometimes. The way we mix the rain and the way we're going to have to dip it down so we don't affect the music and the narrative challenges and anything else. It's very tricky. To do that, we had to get the stuff out for Storm, and because it was in the Storm, obviously. But it's going to be across the verse, and it's going to hit lots of different areas in different ways.
Okay.
Yeah. I often say we have the same conversations the backers do, just just several weeks earlier, and when the first reviews for Stormbreaker came in, and we were saying the same thing. It's like we should be hearing it here. It should sound different when it hits this versus when it hits this.
Of course it should. Yeah, absolutely.
It's just time.
Yeah, it is time. You know,
There's a full dynamic weather system planned, and we'll be fully supporting that. This is meant to be more limited, but it's limited but far-reaching, and now we need to like backfill and sort it out.
And don't forget, in 4.3, we're also supposed to get dynamic snow, which is coming to Microtech first. I believe they said it's coming to both, the Microtech systems, so Calliope, Clio, Europe. But at the very least, 4.3 is supposed to have dynamic snow. I assume at the very least on Microtech. So that'll be interesting to see.
Tonio Folks. I said that right. Has the team been working on or planning for what to include for ATC chatter for the approach to stations?
Have we?
Yes, we have.
Oh, it's content. I'm code.
Next question.
Yeah, hold on. Yes, we have. So, I mean, it's in its infancy. We want to bring a lot more ATC into it. I mean, obviously, this has narrative implications. So we're building. We're going to be working with Dave on this, obviously, to see what we can do to increase the amount of ATC. I'm fascinated by ATC anyway. It's one of my things. So, yes, is the answer to that.
Yeah, as part of that mandate to get more dialogue into the game, it might not be direct dialogue. We might also be looking to add like open comms, open channel, like ATC when you're near points of interest on planets or cities or like points of interest in space, just to give life to what's happening and ideally have it contextual about what's going on.
Yeah,
we can put little nuggets in there.
And it's a big part of the experience of being in a ship. When it moves, you get lots of ATC. If you've ever been inside, the cabin of an aeroplane, there's stuff going on all the time, and we want to bring that real experience to the game.
I missed the name as it's chat scrolling, but somebody's like, interesting. Discord can do 1,000 people in a voice chat, and they're struggling to have 600, and it's like no 3D positioning, no cross-server broadcasting. It's not exactly the same thing.
There's always
we
somebody.
have to run a game at the same time,
and they can focus on that. Hiddleston. Hi, Hiddleston. Some ships are currently pretty much silent. Origin. That was the direction in the thing, not me. I'm not wrong. And some ships that used to have distinctive engine sounds are now also pretty much silent. Are these ships waiting for a pass, or is it a bug?
Both.
It's a combination of the two. So there are some issues where we've made some changes to the flight model, and we haven't been able to get back. Would you say we haven't got around all the ships yet to make them all respond correctly to that flight model change? But it's all part of development. But we also, as part of that update for those flight models, we want to be doing a pass across the whole ship and giving them a nice refresh as well, because some of them are like 8-9 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to add to this. I mean, I'm doubling the department in order to give a fantastic experience. I've been given the opportunity to increase the department in order to turn this around. The vehicles is the most important thing for me. That's the thing that's going to get the most focus. And just feeding into what you just said, yes, everything's going to get to another stage. It's going to be elevated. The whole flight experience and the whole vehicle experience is going to be what you want and what I want. And I'm not going to let anything get out there until it sounds, can I say shit hot?
Sure.
You just did.
Very excited. So, yes, there is.
I like
and
him.
I'm sorry things sometimes don't make it sound, but hey, they're going to be made.
I like this guy. Assuming he doesn't get pulled back and get held back from doing what it sounds like he wants to do. Okay, great. Moving on. Keep it going. I like his direct approach.
Making a sound. It's not a deliberate thing. We've got a lot to do. I mean, it's a very, very, very deep game.
Yeah. And we've got so much respect for the community, and it hurts us when things break. As Graham said, I think the first ships I've been about 10 years now was like 9 years ago, and the ship systems we've built were built for the game at the time. And if you think how far Star Citizen come and the different flight models we've had and all the changes, we've not been able to keep at pace with that and keep the legacy ships up to date. But working with Simon, we're actually building the team out to be able to have the resources to do that, not just the new ships. It's making sure we're working on all the legacy ships, all the ships that are dearest to the heart, like the Drake Cutlass should never ever sound bad because we know that's really popular. But we understand that a lot of the ships have fallen below the bar that we've set and the bar that it deserves to be.
Hot take: with the changes that they made to the Drake Cutlass, I don't think the Cutlass Black sounds that good right now. Just a thought.
And we're working hard to rectify it.
I'm gonna pause this. This is a good time. I want to get into this now. So we keep referencing Simon. You've obviously been here for 4 months. We referenced this presentation that you made last night. You just mentioned that we're bulking up the team and stuff like this. I want to talk about a bigger issue here. Let's just step away from that. The backlog, legacy issues. Legacy issues. It's
Okay.
Star Citizen, not just audio. Every aspect of Star Citizen always tends to be, whether it's right or it's not, very forward-looking. We are always looking at the next thing. We are always looking. It's if there's a patch, we got that next month's patch.
Is Jared saying the quiet part out loud?
If there's a new ship, we got that new ship. The stuff that you guys are doing for the Kruger, by the way, I saw
And another one.
Yep. Another
ship.
Yeah, there's always another ship. We tend to fall into this trap a lot of always looking forward because we just got to go to the next thing. We got to go to the next thing. We need to add new features. We need to add new content, stuff like this. And the backlog just builds. The backlog just builds. Tech debt begins to mount up. I'm not going to ask you to speak for every department in the company, but I'm curious about your plans.
Okay.
To tackle your backlog and your tech debt. It's got to be more than just hiring people.
Yeah, there are 3 stages, and they're all running concurrently. My remit.
So keep in mind, the monthly report update from June that we got, the first week of July, talked about some updated ships for the Perseus. The Kraken goes officially into production at the end of the year. Ironclad, a couple of other ones, right? They also put in there the fact that there are 5 unannounced ships during some form of production stage. For better or worse, I believe when IAE comes around, there is going to be 5. I know this is a fairly large margin, but 5 to 10 new ships out there, whether it's a concept ship coming up for sale and being released into the game or other new ships that we don't know about. I would say there's going to be 5 to 10 new ships during IAE, because IAE is every manufacturer, every ship on display in some fashion. My thoughts, not yours.
Is to work on the material right now and get that out at a very, very high standard. And that's stream 1, if you like, between now and X. And the other one going parallel to that, below it, is the legacy stuff. Legacy sometimes is a dirty word. It's just what exists now. We're going to elevate that. I've got to run and see what's good and bad in that I would like to keep and change and adapt, and that will become part of the top stream. And the other stream, which is vitally important to me, is the community I build here, but also the relationship which needs to be built further with people out there, the fans. I need to hear from you, and you're part of the third strand. So it's important to me at the top layer that we're doing very, very high standard stuff from now onwards. Number 2 is addressing the legacy stuff like this. I don't know, it sounds like we're picking at a scab all the time, the legacy. It's stuff that exists that needs to be polished and cleaned and then join the top layer. Some of it is old, it's 10 years old. It's like driving an old 10-year-old car. Some of it may need to be jettisoned. It's not necessarily bad, it's just dated bad. And then the third thing, which is the way we're going to work together, we're going to be a large department, but I want to hear from people about what we're doing right or wrong. I invite it, and I will be engaging more with the community, because for me that's really part of
I like
developing
him.
a game and developing a soundtrack.
I like this
You've
guy.
been waiting to get on Spectrum and stuff like that, and I wanted you to wait until we
you've
introduced you to
holding
stuff
me
like
back.
this. I'm going to push a little harder
Yeah.
on that, because the answer was great. The answer was
crap.
great. But I'd like to see if I can get something a little more tangible about the legacy stuff. Like how do you tackle that? Is that building a team here that only focuses on
Okay.
old stuff? Is that does that become boring and terrible for new hires? Because who wants to come in and only work on legacy stuff?
It's actually the opposite.
Well, so the first thing is to analyse what is the legacy stuff and divide it into certain categories. For me, the priority is vehicles, so I have to analyse all the vehicles, the ships, etc. Then we've got creatures, we've got Foley, which I'm sure everyone knows what this is. And excuse me if I'm teaching you suck eggs, which is the feet. Right, right down to the surfaces and the soles. I'll be analysing all of the stuff. We will be analysing weapons. We're going to update all the weapons. Ambiences, the ambient systems, the range systems, what happens on planets, the flora and fauna. Analysing all plus building on top of that. So it's breaking it down into its component parts. The music, the diegetic music, that how we're going to elevate the music more within the game and how it's going to react with all of the greater content that we're going to produce. So it's as if you're coming to a meal and I'm trying to pick at the little bits, right, that's got to change and that course has got to be changed. No, let's not offer that salad anymore. Let's push that one away. Let's have something fresh. So it's breaking it down and analysing each thing, and then the stages of the arc of the way I want to achieve towards version 1. We're in alpha, obviously. Is right. I want to do that first. This is the most important thing. Then I want to do this. So the first thing is
I agree,
vehicles,
Crash.
like I said.
I agree.
And that will feed into the next areas I want to focus on. That doesn't mean those areas are going to be neglected, because I'm going to have a department that's going to be focusing all of it. But I need to prioritise stuff. And the way I prioritise stuff is going to be influenced by what is needed at CIG, but also what the community are upsetting about. I'm kind of not interested to hear about the stuff that's good. I really need to react to the stuff that people are disappointed with. And then I can get a better game, really. I know what's good. So don't tell me what's good.
And to expand on that, and something you touched on, Jared, is because we're able to now increase the team, we'll be building the team to be able to look at early concept work. So getting in early doors with new features, content, mechanics, and whatnot. We'll have people be able to focus on the here and now. What is the current release? Seeing that through, and have the people then to go off and look at all the legacy content, actually do all those backlog fixes. But we're very fortunate as a department to be in a period of growth and to be able to facilitate that. Whereas in the past, we may have only had the resources just to focus on the here and now and not address the backlog or not jump on the things earlier on.
And one thing I'd like to say is that the backlog is fun, right? Because there's nothing a sound designer likes more than working on a finished product. There's all these ships that are ready to go that sound designers would absolutely love to get their hands on, given time in the schedule.
What I love about the fact that they're like continuously mentioning like, hey, we're growing this audio team, so on and so forth, over and over and over, is like all the naysayers, like the game is dead, funding, da 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 da. It's like obviously not when they're expanding on a team. I'd like to hear that they're expanding in some other aspects, like maybe the dev team for the server and fixing that, yada yada. Sure, but I don't know. I just felt like interjecting there for a second about that.
To make them sound amazing.
You tell me it won't change? Yes. Amazing.
Exactly.
You mentioned Foley. Bound's question here is, are there plans to improve the audio for SCU containers? It sounds like they don't weigh anything at all or are completely empty when you bump into them.
Yeah. Everything's going to be addressed. The weight of everything, the weight of objects is going to be addressed. The way we react with anything in the world and in the game world is going to be changed so that it feels real, obviously, and stylized within the framework of a game. Yes, that will be addressed.
Yeah, I think that's an extreme example, but when Simon first came in, he gave a demonstration of the kind of things he would want to do to the sounds of Star Citizen, and it was absolutely amazing. But the one word that I think I would take away from it was weight. It was like giving all the doors weight, all the ships weight, just giving the whole game more audible weight, and making things feel more real through it.
So I'm going to ask you another question here.
Me?
Yeah, it's for all of you. I'm going to insert another one here. Downstream dependencies. Audio
That's one for you.
Audio is historically last in the chain.
Yes.
It's almost everybody else has to do their thing when you're building a new piece of content, when you're building a new asset or whatever, before you can even start, before you can really get going. You can maybe do some previs and it's like that, but you can't really get going until almost everybody else has done their stuff. And Star Citizen has a history of, well, we work until the last minute and before we kick something else. So how do you? I see the Vietnam flashbacks happening here. How do you work like that?
I mean,
How do you manage
there's
that?
an inevitability to that sound. It's not exclusive to this company, not exclusive to this style of creativity. It happens a lot because, you know, our visual intelligence is far greater than our sonic intelligence. And, you know, what we see first always comes first. And traditionally, the visual element of any creative product generally comes first. And now how do we deal with it being at the end? Well, we just have to deal with it. I mean, it's unfortunate, but we don't start a game with the sound. We start a game with the vision and with the visuals rather, and we're just at that stage, and we just work alongside each other. And we're going to be working alongside each other much more, the different departments, so that we can be organic together. It is unfortunate, but that's what happens. We can't really change that, and it's stressful, and we have to run at the 11th hour. But that's unfortunately what happens.
It's always a race between audio and VFX.
Yeah.
Or who's the last person to touch a thing? Well, the reason I was thinking about it because the next question from Vandred says we've received VFX passes to OMSCI 4s, CF 337 Panthers and stuff, but no audio. You know, pass on these. The VFX have changed, and now maybe the audio. I think you're suggesting the audio doesn't quite match up with the what you would expect from what they're seeing. So. Does the tail wag the dog here when VFX are like, oh, our schedule allows us to go back and tackle this of the backlog? Do you now have to? Oh, okay. Well, if you're going to do that, we now have to adjust our backlog stuff. How do you manage this?
To some extent, yeah, we do have to. We have to respond to changes in the visuals, absolutely, and we don't always have time to respond to them in the schedule that it's it's happening in for the visual teams. That's why we're lucky we're a live product, because we've always got another release further down the line where we can make these changes. But I think for us, it's we can't schedule exactly in line with VFX, because VFX are only one element of the game that needs a sound treatment, and there are so many other elements that are all asking for the same support at the same time.
But ship weapons is also another key area of focus for us. We're really focusing on the ship experience, and ship weapons is one of that. A key part of that, and we're building out resources to elevate all the ship weapons for the ships, so it's a much better experience.
Well, I know we've got Ship Showdown coming up. It starts sometime
August.
soon. I don't know when, but Ship Showdown is this thing where the backers get to vote on their favorite ships and whatnot. You were talking about listening.
Do we want to have a gamba of the Raft being in the Ship Showdown this year and winning?
To the community, maybe in your prioritization conversations.
Well, we're already pulling those metrics.
But they're literally going to vote. People are literally going to vote
Great.
for the most important
Yeah.
their favorite ships.
Cool.
Oh, when's this?
It starts. 29th. Starts when? 29th. Of this month? Yeah. Starts the 29th of July.
Oh, that'd be interesting to hear.
Would you believe I work in marketing? More Caffeine says the Volt guns sound brilliant. Just a casual. And the Volt guns do sound cool.
Thank you.
Cool. It's so weird a lightning-based gun would sound cool. But
Well, we've got a really talented team there. They're putting a lot.
The Volt weapons, except for the pistol, do sound really good. Yeah, wholeheartedly give them that. Like, those guns were originally debuted in what, 21, 22, and finally made it to the game this year. Like, whatever the case, whatever here and there, but at the same time, the Volt weapons sound great. Absolutely.
I mean, we're going for gravitas and presence of weapons, so that's good to hear.
McSpaz has another question in here. What is the difference between Star Audio and the realistic audio mode?
It might be easier to list the overlaps, because they're very different things. Okay. So Star Audio is effectively a kind of middleware replacement. It's not going to replace Wise, which we will always use, at least for the time being, to play back our sounds, but it's a replacement for the glue between game systems and the audio system that then allows a lot more freedom to sound designers to do whatever they want. So where existing ways of hooking sounds up to things are quite prescriptive. You might look at an animation and say, I want this animation to play this exact sound from the library. What Star Audio does is it allows you to basically just flag the fact that that animation has played and leave the decision on what the sound does down to the sound designer, and they can then make that contextual if they want. They can add logic, they can do all kinds of different things. We can also do things like passing events down hierarchies at runtime. So I always use this example, but if somebody's holding a weapon on the hip and they're piloting a ship and the ship gets hit by a missile, we can make the gun on the hip rattle because the ship got hit, because there's a hierarchy that's being tracked at runtime, which we never had before with the old systems. So there's a lot more contextual information available to all the sounds, and the realistic mode is kind of a subset of that, a sort of microcosm of that whole ecosystem, which is basically listening to whether there's any audio pressure between the listening device, the ears, and the sound emission device, which may be a ship or a weapon or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like the realistic mode is a sort of first use of what Star Audio does, it's our use of what Star Audio does, but it's got much more aesthetic presence, I think, to the player, which is why I think it's something that people are very interested in. But Star Audio is the tech behind that thing.
Vibration's a pretty important aspect of sound. I think it's one of those things, like, obviously anybody that works in the industry, I said it, and all three of you, nodded in exact thing, but because it's not a thing that most common folks ever consider, just how important vibration is.
It's hugely important
Go home and slam your kitchen door and listen to what happens to all the stuff on your shelves and in your cutlery drawer and all that kind of thing.
I don't have a door in my kitchen.
That's the experience we're going for. And I know that's just like a sort of small example of it, but it should be exactly the same if your ship gets hit by anything, or if it gets if a force upon it, which may be gravity, it may be extreme G from performing a maneuver. You want all these things to be straining every single part, that maybe parts that aren't intended to move, but definitely the parts that are as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated thing to achieve, and we're thinking about all the time. It's not just a case of just adding metal rattling or a bit of low frequency vibration. We want to bring more to it. I mean, we're considering haptic stuff as well. We want to really consider it from now and build for the future. It's not just a case of noise. It's beyond that. And like Graham says, everything in life has vibration attached to it, because a sound wave moves objects in different ways, and the reflections of those objects affect us in all manner of ways. And we want to bring that experience.
Almost say that vibrations resonate with us.
Yeah.
You
nice
might
one.
say
that.
Well, you could almost.
Almost.
Don't say that when we go live.
Yeah, don't do that. But I think a big part of it is action and reaction. Like, we can do all the cool sound design in the world and put it in the game, but it would only really give you so much level of immersion. It's more about how does that sound propagate in the 3D space.
Want to hear
how
footsteps
does that affect everything else.
better.
This inheritance system where it allows impulses to be passed from an event to everything that's connected and have that all have appropriate vibrations, down to the tightest zuzz to the big flappy vibration stuff, will really just be...
Yeah.
That's your big immersion
silver
bullet.
It's going to affect everything. It's almost like a force that surrounds us in the universe that we can't see. It's, to pardon stealing from another title, but fundamentally that's going to affect the way we perceive the audio, is with this vibration system, and coining it as a vibration system is almost slightly inaccurate.
It's almost limiting, because what we're actually building is a resonance system, and it's not just about making things vibrate, because other things that they're physically connected to can vibrate. If we go back to the example we talked at right at the beginning, where we've got ship flyovers, there's a heck of a lot of force coming off that thing, and if you've got anything on the ground that can rattle as that thing flies over, we're going to make it rattle.
We're going to move on, because we've been talking about vibrations for a lot for the side, but I swear to you...
Star vibration.
I'm feeling those good vibrations.
One more.
You knew it was coming.
One more, and I'm going to choke you out, Phil.
Sacral vibrations. What are we doing?
I choked Alberto out earlier in the year, and it's been an emoji on Teams since then.
Do it.
You literally sat down today and weren't in that chair for 30 seconds before you started clinking your soda can on the table. Go to the 3-shot.
Give us a live demo, Graham.
You can take the audio guy out of the audio room, but you can't take the audio out of the audio guy.
Shapang.
We're going to use that sound.
Vec says, or asks, no, he just says, I don't think there's no question here. Local ambient sounds at locations are awesome, but I feel like the game lacks large-scale ambient soundscapes. It would be awesome to be on the outskirts of a city and hear the hustle and bustle in the distance with traffic, sirens, speaker announcements, etc., or to pick up background radio chatter when approaching a spaceport or space station. He has no question here.
But it would be awesome, and we do agree.
If it were a question, no, I mean, gosh, that's more complicated than these question would suggest.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you come away from a large area of noise like a cityscape, I mean, what do we want to hear? If we're travelling around it, do we want to hear the sirens? I mean, there's so much different propagation, echo, and reverb going on there.
Yeah.
Without it sounding like mush or just noise. I mean, it's an interesting consideration, and of course we would consider it, because when you pull away from a cityscape, you need a sound. But actually, how we focus on that is complicated, because it's we would deal with it in a linear way, in a different way we would in an immersive way in a game. So
and I would very much agree with that. My only issue with that is when you think about the ships in the game in the context, and yes, it's a video game, and we're going to go full circle back to what I said, towards the beginning, where it's like, when it comes to being able to hear things in space when you're in a ship and it's sealed because Atmo and not dying in a ship in space, regardless if you're in the Atmo of a planet or moon, or you're in actual space, the ship is sealed. You really shouldn't be able to hear anything at any point in time. But go to a Hathor PAF location, and you can hear the cling and the clang, and the outside of the ship is where you should be able to hear things at, like a Hathor. The audio, the ambiance at a Hathor location, beautiful. It's great. It sounds fantastic. I shouldn't be able to hear that in a ship, though.
I mean, I haven't really thought about this yet.
It's almost where you tackle it like LODs,
but
at distance. So when you're at 0 point, when you're in the point of interest, like Area 18 or Lawville, a lot of the stuff you'll hear is bespoke and discrete. It's coming from 3D emitters or volumes we put down there, or it's attached to a ship that's flying by. So everything's of the space, of what you can see, hear, and feel. And then when you're at mid-distance, we can take that and put in designed content that is like a consolidation of that. And then scale it of what it would sound like at distance. Yeah. But Graham's worked on grouping systems and stuff, where we can take, if you've got 3 sound sources, it will know they are the same brush or the same sound source, group them together, and then allow it to switch to a group sound version of that, rather than 3 discrete sources. So we can leverage technology like that.
Yeah, so one of the features in Star Audio is this ability to basically convert a sound that's too far away from you to be heard into a statistic that feeds into another sound. So if you think of the city, then you might have lots of vehicles moving around in there, like you say, sirens going off, all these kinds of things. And we can use those statistics without playing all those sounds and creating cacophony. We can use them to decide what sound we should play in their place.
Because we have to make choices. It's not just a case of when you pull away from an environment, we're going to just roll off the top end and give you reverb and make it mushy sounding. We've got to actually pinpoint which are the POIs which you'd want to be sustained orally out of that environment, and then we'd have to respond to stuff that's giving lights or movement. I mean, it's difficult. It's an interesting question, because the challenge is quite difficult.
Tie into time of day and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Shit. Sorry.
All right, so we've got roughly 10 minutes left. There's a couple more questions I want to get to, so let's see if we can't lightning round some of these. We mentioned Atmos earlier. Cabbage says, will there be options for stereo, 5.1, etc. in the game? Like they can just set What the different
Yes.
ones?
already.
Already
Yeah.
are, right?
So right now it's fully automatic based on what your PC is set to. Effectively, we have some reports that doesn't work, and in development now we have the ability to just choose what you want from a drop-down menu, and that I think it just needs an integration, so it should be something we can get into the next release.
We'll say one of the next releases.
One of the
not
upcoming
There it
releases.
is.
Yeah.
release.
There it is.
Because I've worked here for a long time.
Yes.
There it is.
Next major release. No.
Are there plans? This was also from Bound. Hey, you got 2 in there.
2 in.
Are there plans to replace the footstep sounds? It sounds the same almost everywhere and does not match the ground and floor often.
True.
Good question. Yes, absolutely. We're going to replace as much Foley as I see fit. I wanted to have weights, correct resonance, the correct surface, the correct soul, and yes, that is a definite. That's one of the systems, like I said, I'll be looking at.
This issue is compounded by a bug that I happened to fix just the other week
Well done,
in a development stream where the
Convenient,
materials.
Graham.
Yeah, it is convenient, isn't it?
Convenient.
The materials weren't being picked up correctly from the render mesh, so we are now probing the render mesh correctly. We know what material we're on. That fix will be coming in an upcoming release.
Okay, there you go. In an upcoming release.
But because I'm here, it'll be coming quite quickly.
Yeah.
So you won't have your feet sounding like you're walking on a piece of cheese.
It's not cheese, it's metal.
It'll be
Metal dense
it'll be-
is
yeah.
everywhere.
Somebody in the chat, Bluesmanx, says, we talked about all the different alarms for damage states and stuff. They're like, Jared, ask them about self-destruct audio alarms. Dare you?
Do we still do
We
self-destruct?
did it
you won't.
years ago.
Yeah. I don't think they play anymore. But you got that classic Star Trek thing where you set the self-destruct.
Yeah.
And you just got this ship will self-destruct in. Although we don't make them wait like 5 minutes to self-destruct
No.
their ship, so an
Yeah.
audio alarm for that is going to be pretty quick. But yeah,
we should resurrect them. We should, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
we should.
Well, people are paying good money for these ships. Why would they
Self-destruct,
want to
something
blow
you
them
just
up?
paid for.
Exactly. Why would they want to destroy them?
I mean, it's one of those things. I wouldn't mind. If you do need a voice for that, like that's one of those ones I wouldn't mind to volunteer. Just like if somebody sets it up and you just hear my voice screaming through the noise system. Hopefully, asshole, gonna blow the ship, run!
Only if it's in a Cockney accent, Jared.
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
got any accent?
Right, Smiles?
Oh, Miss Poppins! Oh,
Mr.
no!
Poppins.
That's my self-destruct voice, and I've
You-
now offered it
and you
freely
eject
to the
with an
community.
umbrella.
You can set it to voice
Gravity.
attack or whatnot, and when you use your self-destruct, you're welcome to play that.
Okay.
Gravity umbrella.
I'll use my one swear. I got to be on the watch for the next few minutes. Viper says, currently the sound of a Polaris or an Idris hovering over the ground is almost silent. Will we see improvements to this aspect of audio as sometimes we walk outside a location and there's just a big hovering Polaris and I didn't even hear it because it was almost silent?
I mean, this feeds into the engaging with the flybys. The short answer is yes.
Yeah, we were talking about it just this morning again.
Yeah, but we obviously the weight and but I mean, feed more into that question.
Yeah, we need smarter ways to tie into that context.
Yeah.
So you get the whole kind of brown out, white out, hovering experience, but in a way in which it is not paralyzing if loads of people decide to hover around where you are on an outpost or whatever, and it's just completely dominating. So we need to be smart about how we do it. But you absolutely want to hear the weight and presence of that above you.
Yeah.
Plus the war horns.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
those.
Womp womp.
I don't want this all to be about yes, we are. Is there one where I can say no?
Bluesmink says, love when I have to force Jared to ask the question that needs to be asked. You force me nothing. I do what I want. There we go. Here we go. You want to say something? No?
Yeah.
Should I ever ask another Bluesminx question ever again?
Nope. There you go.
Done.
A well-balanced interview.
Great community engagement, Simon.
I can't ever ask a question. Jared will never say my name on stream. What's wrong with your name? Bindi Rover? Oh.
Well,
He
said
knew
it.
what he was
You
doing.
fell for it.
He knew what he was doing.
Intentionally.
I wish that was a bit. I actually did fall for it.
Did you?
I wish that was a bit.
That bit
Well,
out.
you've used your one swear now, Jared.
Achilles Stick says, will music work for groups eventually? Like traveling the Pyrogate, so it's not only the pirate that hears the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pilot?
So unfortunately, we were quite rushed on the jump point music design for that. Jump points was a whole thing. Ideally, the music experience should be for the ship and all the occupants inside that ship, because you're all experiencing that together. But I think at the time we had to tie it to, are you flying the ship?
I think a lot of the logic is associated with the ship pilot, and then like anyone who is a passenger is both, you know, actually a passenger and, you know, metaphorically as well in this sort of sense. And I think we just need to be able to figure out how to hook them into that.
Yeah, we've got future improvements planned. They'll come in a release soon.
We can probably fit 2 or 3 more in.
That's what she said.
Sheep Just Got Real says, are there any interesting stories behind the creation of some of the sound effects used in the verse?
I've got one.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah. So, because I've been here for so long, I've been very fortunate
It's
to have.
been 84 years.
I've had 2 beautiful children. Well, not me, my wife has. But I took the heartbeat of their pregnancy scans, and I put my eldest son on one of the hospital monitors in one of the hospitals. Where is that? I'm not sure which location it's in. And then the younger baby, their heart beat is on one of the other ones. So they live in the game, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
I like he
Interesting.
said, I have 2 beautiful children. Oh, well, no, my wife does. You don't.
No, she gave birth to them. I didn't have them. No, she did all the hard work.
He was just there.
And lastly, I lost it. There it goes. Warhead 64. What can the community do for you to make your job easier?
Shut the
Tell us
fuck.
what you want. Communicate with me and us.
You're going to get so much
I
communication.
don't mind. I want communication. It's a 2-way street.
Yeah.
It's a 2-way pipeline. So, yeah, communicate with us. Reach out to us. I'm here to... When I've got time, I'll want to engage with you. I don't want there to be non-engagement. I think engagement for me is a great creative tool. So, I want to be, and my ears are no better than your ears. Than, what you hear.
Well, that's not true.
I want to hear what you're not hearing. I want to hear what you would like to hear. All of these things are valid creative observations. So, reach out.
I mean,
You need to be
fundamentally
objective.
making the game for
Having a
the
different
community
set of
and
eyes,
developers.
or in this case, ears,
as
is
we're building
great.
the team, we're going to be putting more time into being on Spectrum and listening to what they like, what they don't like. But I would ask, please do shout about any audio issues that you come across, because a lot will swing past us and we won't catch them. Even our talented QA team won't catch them. 'cause
The
we
Barnabas
can't test
bunker
every
on Hurston
context
loses
there is.
audio when you get
But as
halfway down the
soon as
elevator
there's an
shaft.
issue, like a ship stops making a sound, if we've not caught it, please just shout about it and we'll get onto it.
Bugs, we're not deliberately planting bugs. Bugs are an inevitability of development. We're in alpha. It's a deep game. I mean, we will fix things all the time. We're there to fix the bugs and make things better. We're not making you trip up deliberately, but yeah, obviously, like Phil says, reach out. But we have, a dedicated QA, and we've got a department, searching all the time to fix this stuff, and we're doing it.
Chat is asking, how do they reach out? So obviously,
What's
Spectrum, post on Spectrum, the Ask a Dev threads, subforums, but I'm going to encourage you, because Simon doesn't know what he's getting into. This is his first show here. I'm going to encourage you to send mailed letters to Simon Gershon, care of Cloud Imperium Games, 6 Goods Yard Street, Manchester, United Kingdom, M3
3BG.
BBG.
M3 3BG. Send your letters. I will ensure that they get to his desk, and the next time he's on this show, I want to see a
Then you
mailbag.
actually have to bring
I
your
want
sack.
Phil Simon's sack.
I've already got a sack
Mail.
of sound. I need a sack of mail. Don't do joined up writing. Have difficulty reading nowadays.
Help me fill Simon's sack with mail.
Yeah, within reason.
You think is like Simon will love that.
I will. Sorry. But give me a little bit of space. I do need to develop a game here as well, by the way.
Well, that's the beauty of the physical mail. You can open it.
Did
and
my
read it if
Birmingham
you
accent slip out
want. You
again?
can take it
there?
home.
yeah.
And,
Oh, crikey.
read it on the train. Whatever.
Yeah.
Can't develop
imagine
for all
reading
these
on the
letters.
Yeah, all these letters that the fans like. Right.
All right, I'm gonna ask.
That's not the end.
That's the end.
That is
That's
the
it.
end.
Congratulations. You survived your first SCO.
It was fun.
I told you, it'd be okay. I've never lost a developer yet. That's not exactly true. but you know, overall, my track record's all right as far as people going back. Usually they yell at me, not the people who are in those chairs. I'm gonna do one more thing though. I'm gonna do wee woo sounds. We got ships. We got like Terrapin medics. We got Cutlass Blues.
It does the wee woos.
We got the Apollos coming before the end of the year. Wee woo sounds.
Sirens.
Oh, what? Get some siren sounds.
Sirens, yeah.
Be able to.
Shall we pop one in somewhere? Just for you.
Shit.
When's your birthday?
What's your address?
I won't tell you where I put it.
Yeah, but it just you know it's always we're trying to get the flashing lights and everything on the police vehicles and the medical vehicles and whatever. But flashing lights only take us.
All right.
Only take us.
A star siren
Yeah.
Star
That'd
siren.
be cool.
for Jared.
Christ.
Tie into VoIP and get like a megaphone on the front of your ship.
Are we going to commit to this?
Yeah, why not?
Yes,
Let's do
we will. And
Do
it'll
it.
come into a patch quite soon.
it. Quite soon.
Soon, yeah.
There are
Oh,
days I
there's a
love my job.
Smile of a happy person.
All right, folks. That's it. Thank you for watching Star Citizen Live. Don't forget that Ship Showdown is coming up. When does it start?
July 29th.
9th of July. It's your chance to do a bunch of like arts and crafts
Hire me,
things. Sometimes
CIG.
people sing songs. They had a song about, what was it, the Pisces? It was a Pisces song a couple
I'm
years
still
ago.
not moving to
They made
England,
everybody
though.
listen to that in the office pretty frequently when that happened. So if you don't have to do that one. But you can do the other stuff. You're welcome to do the other stuff. But it's your chance to vote for which ships are most popular, and then we do a big Sweet 16, a Final 8, or something like that, and then you can vote, and then they get cool paints, and the ships come back for promotion stuff and everything. It's pretty cool. It's one of the more fun things.
And
that
before the
what you
Argo
get to see
Raft
is
wins
entirely
this
in the
year.
hands of the community. So keep an eye out for that. There'll be a post with all the rules and stuff like that when they do that stuff. So for Star Citizen Live, I'm Jared. That's been Simon. That's been Graham. That's been Phil. Thank you so much for taking the time
Thanks
towards
for
the end of
having
the week
us.
for being
It's been
here.
fun.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll see you next time on
Around the verse.
Star Citizen Live.
Around the verse.
No, we don't.
Around the verse.
On around the verse.
Inside the round the verse.
Inside the around the.
verse.
No. No.
Thank you, Jared.
So.